The ship hummed quietly as it drifted through the darkness of space, carrying its small crew on a routine survey mission beyond the outer rim of the Terran colonies. Captain Elias Ward stood at the observation window, staring at the distant, glimmering nebulae, his mind half on the mission and half on the strange warning they had received before departure. It had come as a message from the Arcani system, a frontier cluster that humans had only recently begun exploring. The transmission had been cryptic, almost playful, but tinged with unease. "It is tradition to share a bed," it said, "but beware the suffering it can bring." The words had seemed trivial at first, like some archaic joke about hospitality among alien cultures. But now, floating through the silent void, Elias couldn't shake a creeping feeling that the message might not have been as harmless as it seemed. The crew consisted of 5 people: Elias, the ship's AI technician Mara, the engineer Tom, the navigator Jalen, and Lieutenant Kaya Voss, the mission's security officer. Kaya was the one who had raised concerns about the message, her sharp instincts always alert to danger. She had suggested they prepare for contingencies beyond the usual survey protocol, though no one had known what form that danger might take. The Arcani system came into view gradually, a cluster of pale stars surrounding a gas giant with swirling, violet storms. The ship's sensors picked up unusual energy readings on one of the smaller moons, an abandoned settlement built by explorers decades earlier. It was supposed to be uninhabited, yet there were signs of recent activity, heat traces, minimal atmospheric disturbances, and a faint signal that repeated the same cryptic warning. "Heat signatures?" Elias asked, leaning over the control console. "That settlement is supposed to be empty." He had been unusually quiet for most of the trip, studying the readings with meticulous care. "The energy signature is unusual, not fully mechanical. There's some kind of pattern, almost like pulses of life energy." "I want no surprises." The building was still intact, though windows were cracked and some walls had collapsed. A strange, pungent smell filled the air, metallic yet faintly organic. "Something's wrong," Kaya muttered, scanning the area with her handheld sensor. "Whatever lives here doesn't want company or wants to make sure you regret visiting." "Tom, keep the comms open. Jalen, watch for life signatures." She was human, or at least appeared so, but her eyes glowed faintly with violet light. Her hair floated as if in zero gravity, and a faint aura surrounded her, pulsing gently. "Who are you?" Elias called out. She smiled, but it was not a warm smile. "It is tradition to share a bed," she said softly, her voice echoing slightly in the chamber. "But you will see, the suffering comes quickly to those unprepared. But humans, you never survive easily. Kaya, get ready with containment protocols. Tom, help Jalen keep sensors on her." The woman extended her hand, and suddenly the crew felt themselves being pulled into a shared consciousness. Memories and emotions not their own flooded their minds. Pain, loss, fear, but also determination, courage, and flashes of triumph. They realized they were being tested, not physically, but mentally and emotionally. "Focus on your own strength," Elias shouted through the mental storm. "We are humans, that is our edge." "Unusual," she whispered. "I have seen many enter, none so stubborn, so alive." "You will learn," she said. "The tradition is cruel, but it is also a test. Humans have a strange gift. They endure what should break them. This may be why you have come this far. To survive, you must embrace it without losing yourselves. Only then will the trial end, and only then will you understand why humans are remarkable." They had endured the first wave, but the true test of their humanity, and perhaps their survival, was yet to come. As they prepared for what awaited deeper within the settlement, Elias felt a mix of dread and pride. Humans had faced impossible odds before, from the first colonists to the deep space explorers who charted the stars. They had survived. They had endured. And now, in this strange alien tradition, they would need every ounce of courage, cunning, and resilience they possessed. Mara whispered to Kaya as they moved toward the next chamber, "We'll get through this, right?" And so they stepped forward into the heart of the tradition, unaware of what suffering truly awaited, but determined, as humans always were, to survive against impossible odds. The air in the chamber was thick with a strange, tangible energy, like the weight of unseen storms pressing against the crew from every direction. Every step forward felt heavier, every breath more deliberate. Yet despite the oppressive atmosphere, Elias Ward felt a spark of determination inside him, the same spark that had driven humanity to conquer space itself. The glowing woman floated ahead, her violet aura pulsating in rhythm with the building itself. "The test begins," she said softly. "To survive, you must share the suffering. Alone, you fail. Together, you endure." Walls rippled, corridors bent impossibly, and the floor felt like it was rising and falling beneath their feet. The crew realized the building was alive, or at least somehow responsive to the alien consciousness that had merged with the woman. A wave of emotion hit them, sudden and overwhelming. Fear, regret, and despair flooded their minds, each memory magnified, twisting reality around them. Tom staggered, clutching his head. I, he whispered. Elias placed a hand on Tom's shoulder. "You can focus on what we've achieved, focus on what humans do best, we endure. It's testing us physically, too. But humans surprise me every time." The crew realized they had to navigate through this labyrinth, but each platform carried a projection of their deepest fears. Elias looked at the first platform. His fear of failure materialized as a vision of the Terran colonies collapsing, cities burning, people starving. He felt panic rising, but forced himself to take a deep breath. "It's not real," he reminded himself. "We are humans. We endure, we survive. We endure. Those who endure will understand." Mara saw the loss of her family in vivid detail, yet she held on. Tom confronted the deaths of his friends in previous missions, feeling grief almost too heavy to bear, yet he survived. Kaya saw herself powerless to stop disasters, her mistakes magnified, yet she persisted. Finally, they reached the last platform, glowing a soft violet. The woman hovered above it, her aura brighter than before. "You have made it farther than any other humans," she said. "You have shared in the suffering, yet you have not lost yourselves. That is remarkable. Humans are indeed different. You do not merely survive suffering, you transform it. You use it to become stronger. That is why you persist where others fail." The crew staggered to the floor, breathing heavily, leaning on one another. Mara laughed softly, tears running down her cheeks. "We made it. We survived. Humans, you are extraordinary. Remember this lesson, for you carry it wherever you go. To ensure that when you leave, you carry not only yourselves but the power of endurance, courage, and unity." That truth was now carved deep into their minds. As they prepared to leave the settlement and return to their shuttle, Elias glanced at the stars. The galaxy was vast, full of dangers and unknowns, yet he felt a surge of confidence. Humanity was small in the universe, but it was stubborn, enduring, and capable of remarkable feats. Mara tapped her console. "The energy readings are gone. Whatever that presence was, it's dormant now, at least for us. Maybe that's the human way, enduring discomfort, facing fears, and coming out stronger." They were explorers, warriors of survival, carriers of the unbroken human spirit. Whatever awaited them in the far reaches of space, they knew one truth: humanity would endure, adapt, and prevail. The stars stretched endlessly before them, but for the first time in a long while, the darkness of the unknown felt less threatening. They had faced suffering together and survived. They had been tested, and the test had proven the unyielding nature of human resolve. Elias looked back at the moon, at the silent settlement that had challenged them beyond anything they had ever faced. He smiled faintly. "Let the galaxy know," he said softly, "that humanity does not bend, does not break, and does not yield. We endure. Always." The universe was vast, unpredictable, and often cruel, but humanity had survived the crucible. They had embraced the tradition, faced the suffering, and emerged triumphant. And in that triumph, they carried with them the most enduring truth of all, that no matter the odds, no matter the unknown, humans would always rise, always endure, always triumph. As the stars stretched into infinity, the crew looked at one another with renewed determination. Each knew that the trials they had faced were just the beginning of what awaited humanity in the far reaches of space. But they were ready. They had learned, survived, and grown stronger. And so, with hearts unwavering and spirits unbroken, they continued their journey among the stars, the human flame burning brighter than any distant sun, guiding them through the endless darkness, reminding the universe itself of the indomitable nature of humanity.